Hello? Hello? There we go. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, me. Hello, me. Right back at you, buddy. Oh my god, I do not know what the deal with that is. Maybe it's time for a new mic. Hello, hello. Welcome, 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 everybody. We are back with some more Serbia enthusiasm here. And so we're picking up where we left off earlier today. Let's see here. Let me get all my affairs in order here. All right. Okay. So, where did we leave off earlier today? Well, we left off in a little bit of a dilemma. We started our independence war. We're actually in good shape because we have France, North Germany, Austria, and Russia on our side against the Ottomans and the British. So, and of course, Moldavia. Thank you, Moldavia. So we're in good shape. The only problem is we're about to hit default. Just a little bit of a problem there. So, what could we do? So, one of the things I'm thinking we might do is we might actually demobilize our armies. Because, if I'm being honest here, our armies are not making or breaking this war. If you look at this front line here, it's 304 French, well, combined forces against 254 combined forces. Our total of, what, 53? Our total of 53 is not doing much. Hey, Maximilian, welcome back. Welcome back, buddy. How are you? I should already be sleeping. Just came to say hello since I'm still up. Nice. Of course. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. So, I think we're going to start off by doing this. So, we're going to demobilize. And then we're going to take the subsidies off the food industries. That should do us something right there. All right. So that'll get us down there. I'm going to ask a Discord capable ham cuts for Christmas. Wait, why? Did I mess something up on the Discord? What did I do this time? Oh my god. I've always been a very good tech. I'm like everyone in my life's go-to tech person. For some reason, when it comes to Discord, I feel like an old person. The interest we can't do much in. Oh no, not that. I would just like to discuss more with you. I know. I'm starting to get a little better with, like, in the morning or at some point in the day, be like, look at the Discord. Look at the Discord. Yeah. I'm gonna somehow get that into my realm of social media checkings. It took me long enough to get Reddit into that, but now I do. You have the phone application. I do, yeah. You know, now that I think about it, I wonder if I have notifications turned off on that, because I just realized I never get a notification on it. All right, so yeah, we are going to demobilize. Actually, let's do the week update and see what that actually puts us at. Well, 12,000. Yeah, the military wages. Well, now we can bump those way down. The goods. Yeah, we're gonna have to cut back. Now, I saw somewhere that having the conscripts enabled makes a little bit of money be spent. Yeah, that actually did not do anything for us. Okay. we're going to cut back a little bit here. We've reached default. We have reached it. We're getting 670 on that for 200 bucks, so let's not do that. Any news over there? Nothing going on in Greece. No, nothing like new of note here. Check on our war goals. Yeah. Yeah, how are we doing? So we do need to take this. We're almost there. We need to take these states. What else did we say? Oh, the money. No, our war goals. Wait, what do you mean? What are you talking about? These are our war goals. What do you mean, me and you? Our war goals for world domination? Oh, you're still hurt over taking Bulgaria instead of historical Serb lands. I mean the Greek war. Oh, our. I get it, I get it. You want to see how Greece is doing. I love it. Let's see. So yeah, they have that. Oh, they're trying to liberate two Sicilies. You're trying to liberate Bulgaria? I gotta win this war before they do. Sharky boy, hello, hello, welcome in, welcome in. Yeah, Greece is doing well, actually. The war score hasn't updated, but they're doing well. Right. What else are we got? Oh, yeah. Let's take off all of that stuff, because it looks like... So maybe we need to update the week. Okay, there we go. That's a lot better. By the way, Greece has the Republican flag. Yeah, look at that. Historical. Which means Greece is no longer a monarchy. Presidential republic with oligarchy, but presidential republic. Look at Greece. Greece is doing well. Better than us. All right, we need a little bit more government wages. Yeah, we're gonna have to cut back on some of the universities, unfortunately. Probably we'll cut back on one. And look at that. And I hate to say it, but just for good measure. Alright. Alright. So how far... So we're still in default, though. Because we are over... by about 15K. I've never been this early before. Yeah, normally you start stream when I leave for school. And I'm getting to class. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, glad to have you this early then. That was originally the naval jack. Both the Greek and the U.S. flags were inspired from the East India Trading Company. Oh, really? In fact, you could unite countries with no connection from each side of the world. You know, I have noticed that about the EIC flag before. I was always wondering about that. Interesting. I've noticed in the game too, Brazil has a similar flag style. I always wondered what the historical context of that was. Do the GDP exploit to remove your default. Yeah, what is that again? I've watched some videos on this. I forget what it is. I've watched videos on it, but I've never done it. But I know there's some exploit like that. What is the exploit again? Their common denominator is probably the British. Yeah, since they've been everywhere. Talking about the Honorable East India Trading Company, one of its uh, one of its members, Konstantinos Garakis, also Falcon, an ethnic Greek from the Ionian Islands, climbed up the ranks of the East India Trading Company, starting as a simple sailor and ended up becoming the Prime Minister of Siam. Whoa, for being overthrown by a coup. Oh, interesting. That's really cool. Set production methods to lowest. Wait for a week to tick. And set to best PM. Ah, that's right. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah, and that like does something, right? It is a bit of a cheese though, but I've never actually done it, so I want to actually try it. So yeah, from what I've seen in the from others, you like do this. You let it go for like a week, like you said. I forget why this works though. Oh, I didn't catch it. Wait. Yeah, now we're back though. In default. So that didn't work. Oh, I see though. Yeah, but it reset our credit, right? Okay. Yeah, how does that work? I've seen some people do this before. It was something about, yeah, that with the PMs. You like reset the PMs. It because the thing is the moment you go under your debt limit, you lose default and so it kind of resets. It works because your debt cap is based on GDP, some of it. Yeah, that's right. So when you lower your GDP, you delete some of your debt. When you raise it back, the debt cap increases. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so now to make it work again, we kind of have to do all of that again. So you do this. Funny the things we do while we're in the midst of war. Then you lower everything. Man, this is like a major cheese. I don't think I'm ever going to do this again, but I am just curious to see how it works. Yeah, it didn't really do it for us here. Hey, oh yeah, hello, hello. What's going on with the GDP? Yeah, we're kind of playing around with a cheese here. I'm thankful it does. It'd make like all of my runs so much more annoying. It shouldn't work. Yeah, I know, right? It shouldn't. It shouldn't work at all. All right. Well, we're not that far into debt here. Yeah, so I think we kind of have to reset all of our stuff here. We have a Glassworks, yeah. Karloff, hey, what's up, what's up? How are you? Good to see you. Shirky Boy crashed the economy. He says it's going to actually make things better. Yeah. I have seen people in videos do this before, but I've never actually done it myself. Yeah, so you wait for the... That's right, you wait for the GDP to tick up. Finish reading my Sam history comments once you are done. Oh, did I miss? Oh, yeah. The generals took down the dynasty, Caracas and all modernizers in Siam. Siam became an isolated country, much like Japan, for centuries. Caracas previously had started opening diplomatic contracts. Huh. That's interesting. I didn't know Greece had such a tie to Southeast Asia like that. I don't know, kind of too little GDP impact because of all your buildings already not profitable. Yeah. Yeah, that's why I don't think it's necessarily gonna work. It worked for a second, but yeah, I don't think we can depend on it. So let's take a look here. So we're actually good on paper. What are we not good on here? Because we have our own economy. Alright, apologies everybody. We're going to have to retool some stuff here. Yeah, we could really use this. Oh yeah, that gets rid of... Okay, so in terms of resources, we're bad on everything. Let's go... to wooden frame. Yeah. Oh, my face when GDP is not ticking up. Should actually be fine when you win the war. Your GDP will increase from that. Yeah, yeah. I mean, we'll be okay. We just need to go back under our debt cap. He also set up the first Siamese foreign embassies in France and so on. And no, it's mostly a naval thing. Fun fact: even today, Greece has the largest merchant marine in the world. Wow. Okay. I mean, it makes sense, right? Like a country that's so that's a vast series of islands like that. It would make sense, but it's still, yeah, kind of surprising that a little bit. Yeah, let's lower that down. Yeah, let's just prioritize that. So let's retool everything here. No pun intended. Let's do this. All right, and then we need... We could just get one more tax going. So this is 430 for 200. We could just squeeze out a little bit more authority. Oh yeah, we could do... Nope, that only gets us to 80. Oh, well, all right. Oops. All right. The war seems to not be going well, though. This is peak fiscal responsibility, I know. Oh my god. This is unfortunately how people in the US right now are playing with the economy. It seems like. All right, so we have this war goal. We have this one. We have this one. So we have the war goals. Oh, hold on. A storage tank full to the brim with molasses intended for rum distillation has burst, flooding the streets of Belgrade's commercial center, killing dozens and injuring hundreds of bystanders. I would like to not get the radicals. Yeah, we'll just take the food industry's hit. The first wave of modern Greek naval dominance started after the Russo-Turkish War of 1768 to 1774 and the Napoleonic War 1799 to 1815, where we took over the Mediterranean trade from the French, etc. The second wave began after World War II, when we purchased most of the Liberty ships, produced by the U.S. In fact, we have one of the 3 remaining as a museum ship, and from then on we control the commerce. Amazing. Amazing. Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, the Mediterranean is such a vast shipping lane. Greece is, like, so perfectly positioned for it. All right. Oh, are we... Okay, what if... Let's get rid of this. That didn't do much for us, unfortunately. Let's go to secular. Man, this war has decimated us. We damn well better win it now. Which makes me wonder why. Yeah, they're not going to be able to get us below 0. But we are going to be able to get them below 0. I don't know, maybe we just... the problem, though, is... Yeah, we're not going to be able... Oh, we need to get there for independence. And they're not pushing there. Switching back to modern stuff, although what Tangerine President is trying to do is browbeat the Federal Reserve into lowering interest rate to stimulate a stagnating economy. Yeah, but why is the economy stagnating? There's a lot of blame to go around on that one for recent things. So here's a problem. We need to get to the capital for independence. And see, we really need this war to be over. Because they're fighting that. And they're doing this over here. Yesterday I was complaining about you getting non-historical claims. Today Greece, punishes you for doing so and hurting my feelings. Yeah, Greece, what are you doing? What are you doing? I feel like if they win their war first... Oh, that's not going to end first, though. That might be a problem for us. Multiple reasons. You had a recession in Q1 2025, mainly due to tariffs. But what is important is that by lowering interest rate, he is going to exacerbate the inflation. But exactly, we had an unneeded recession in Q1 because of unneeded tariffs. By the way, Serbia Enthusiasm is a great title. Forgot to say thank you. Thank you. I cannot tell you how excited I was when I finally thought of it, because I really enjoy making the titles for these, and I really was like, I got nothing for Serbia. I really got nothing. So I appreciate that. Because when it hit me, I was thoroughly excited. Yeah. Now it's just getting worse. We could, I mean, honestly, we could cut the military. What we really should be doing is also, no, this, being on national militia. That would benefit us immensely. All right, so yeah, we are taking them below. I wonder if we can just hold out like this and get our plus 5,000. Why are we still at 500,000 GDP? Aren't we supposed to switch back to optimal PMs after? We did switch them back. But remember, our throughput in all of our buildings is going down. We might have to take the bankruptcy on this one. This is the problem with being in default. The only thing, the reason why I don't want to take the default just yet, or take the bankruptcy just yet, is that we'll get from one of the war goals the money transfer of, it was like 5,500 a week, which could get us out of default. But we're getting pretty far into default. Wait till after the war to decide whether or not. Yeah, exactly. Who's Constantinople liberated? Yeah. I wonder if this counts for my war goals, because it is occupied. So, economically, we're crashing. But we are winning this independence war. So I think we just ride it out. And see what happens. Standard of living is going down. Oh, this is hurting. This is hurting my eyes so much. Look at this. Look at this GDP map. Oh my god, this is killing me. But we're almost halfway. Should he bankrupt now or after So I want to wait till after conquest, because we're going to get money transfer. And I mean, the other thing is, it doesn't really matter when we take the bankruptcy. The corn laws, our taxes on grain imports have afforded land owning class. Oh, we got corn laws now. A great deal of economic leverage, which they should maintain their influence. We'll do this. Oh, did we get it a second time? Oh, our prohibitive import tax on cereal grains has made it difficult for the poor to afford bread, with people in Western Serbia approaching the starvation line. Yeah. Can we at least get grain up? Would Austria do... Because now we can do goods transfers. Really, you don't do any of that with us? Wouldn't that make the new provinces radical, or am I mistaken? Well, so we're actually only going to get one new province, because Eastern Serbia and Western Serbia are just going to get consumed into those. See, now even our money transfer... Yeah, we can't do anything there. Yeah, we don't want to touch that. We could... So 270 from the government admin. So we save like 500 if we got rid of the government admin. If we got enough bureaucracy back. Can we get... Oh yeah, that's right. We have this whole ordeal going on. Scroll over to Sol to be on 6.2 on average. The poor folk might be starving. Yeah. Yeah, they might be. That's why I want to get some grain in at least. Yeah, we do have starvation happening. This isn't... Oh, we are so close. Our Serbian Orthodox brothers are literally starving to unalived status. A few days passed, and he has lost 10,000 people. Oh, did we? Yeah, I'm not keeping an eye on that. Yeah. Let's get there. We are almost there. Just hang on, my Serbian brother. Alright, Great Britain's out. Let's see, would they take a peace deal now? No, they wouldn't even take... Okay. Peak was 1.4 million. Yeah. Oh my god. You know, though, we should be getting, Look at that, we're still... Our fervor is, like, going down. Well, if we become independent, it'll actually go up quite a bit. Alright, we're almost there, we're almost there. I probably should have taken the bankruptcy earlier. Therefore, sacrifices will not be remembered. Speak for yourself. I will create a power block statue in your honor. All for the glory of Serbia. Declaration of Independence. All right. Oop, what's happening there? Okay. All right, so let's see where that puts us. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that, Serbia. Look at that, Serbia. All right. Let's get a week update just to see what that does for our budget. Yeah, it was even worse. Oh, but we are not... Okay. So we're not in default. Look, our GDP bounced up. So... I hate to say this, but I think we're going to delete most of our military for the time being. Can we get him to play India or China with such soul? Millions, even billions will be gone. All for the good of the homeland. I mean, everybody's free, aren't they? That's the cost of freedom. Okay. Oh, goods for government buildings. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God. Look at this. Okay. So what we don't need to be doing that. All right. So that fixed us up a little bit there. But the problem is we're still not building anything. Woohoo! Oh, hey. Oh, yeah. Woohoo! Oh, yeah. The Saxony thing. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, now we march to Saxony. Of course. We're going to get that achievement. one way or another. So we have access to the sea. We didn't have to take a bankruptcy. We're in a lot of debt, but we're in the positive for our budget. So now we got to fix this economy. Also, there is a trapped Ottoman army in Belarus for some reason. We're about to get railways, because that's good, because we're going to need it. But we got a lot of people here. 86% turmoil. We really do need to incorporate this, too. 105. Alright, we'll have to get to that at some other point. Now we can control our own tariffs and subventions. So, our trade center. Let's get this going. We need our wheat farms to hire up. Oh, now we're in the red again. Maybe you could liberate Bulgaria as a puppet to trigger the Balkan League. Well, that's a good point. So, yeah, the Balkan League. Yeah, so now we just need cultural fervor of the Serbs, Bulgarians, or Greeks to reach 75. What has that done for us here? Yeah, so we need to do a little bit more on that front. Alright, so we're in a bit of a hole. Alright. Let's pause before this gets even worse. I wonder, you know, if we get somebody to take on our debt. Who loves us? Russia, you love us. Anybody else love us? Oh, the French love us. Yeah, nobody wants to take this debt on. Is there anything we're good at making right now? Some wine. Alright, we're gonna delete some of the military. Huh, that's actually even doing horribly for us. Alright, there we go. So we've got a little bit here. Could we possibly turn this construction queue back on? What is our construction cost? 18,000. Oh, Bulgaria. Okay, let's get rid of those. 13,000. So it costs about 7,000. Spans the military, less orders, military industrial complex goes unprofitable, less taxes and government coffers. Yeah. But still, because of the amount that we were paying, still kind of works out in that end. So you did remove your army and let France and Germany do their stuff, right? Yeah. Hey, Laplace. Hello, hello. Yeah. Well, so I just disbanded them. And yeah, but let France, Germany, Russia, and Austria all together do their thing. And it worked. Now we really need to get this construction queue back on. We've got POPs to employ. All right, actually, we're going to let it run because we have buildings that need to be hired up. And it would fix a lot of stuff in this economy. Like these things. Less taxes in government coffers, forced on higher taxation, lower Sol. I'm just commenting on your it got worse somehow comment. Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it did. But then it got worse, but then it got better. That's how the economy works. Okay. All right, so we're going to just we need people back in the wheat farms here. Because we need to take care of... Okay, we have no more ongoing famines. So... So let's take a look at the market here. Fabric. Oh, that's right, fabric. So we could really use some cotton plantations. I feel like, though... Oh, yeah, it's mainly fabric. So fabric and wood. So let's take a look at our logging camps. See if they're hired up. Okay. Oh, Russia wants us to join that. No, thank you. Yeah, no. Hey, income... We can't afford to be in this. I know. Yeah, the standard of living is awful right now. Are you sure not producing fruit is good? Grain might not be that profitable by itself. No, we are going to produce some fruit. I got to take a look at that. But I want to get the construction goods good first because we need to make some cotton plantations to make the rest of the construction work. Oof, how did we get from 10.9 to here just from one war? Yeah, because we got booted out of the Ottoman market. And that didn't go too well for us. But it's also because people were starving and dying. So that's kind of what did that. Now, let's take a look at... Let's keep it going so things can start hiring up. See, the other thing is we have a lot of buildings not hired up. So we need everything to start hiring here. And they're hiring, they're just taking forever. Awful, it's kind of understatement. This is like Berlin after 1945. Yeah. Yeah, this is something. Alright, they broke the deal with us. But I'll tell you one thing, I'm glad I ended up going for the money transfer. Something tells me Sharky's voodoo economics did not work. Although the default is gone, the economy has evaporated. Yeah, the little debt cheese, I don't think that made much of a difference to us regardless. Alright, so we're kind of just waiting for buildings here to hire up. Probably because German pillaging your war goal. There's so much devastation kind of skyrocketed. Oh, yeah, look at this. We're getting hit by wildfires. Of course, we gotta get wildfires while all that stuff sucks. Alright, so we need some cotton plantations here. Alright, let's see what happens. And now revolution. How do you even more radicals than pops? Yeah, right. Oh my god, yeah. Almost more. Even people in other countries are big mad at you. Yep. That's how we roll. That's how we roll. Okay, yeah. This is what I was afraid of. We can't actually afford this at the moment. So Eastern Serbia. Why? Higher up there. We're kind of like starting the economy from scratch here. All right, here's what we're going to do. Yeah, instead of... Now, I was about to say maybe we'll delete it here, but we won't. Oh, let's get rid of the tariff there. Same thing on here. Serb uprising. We have no business in that. My prince, 3/5 of the Serbians are radicals. Even the children are radicals. Like that child holding a bomb on the Serb war lines. Iron frame construction. Let's see. Oh, kids are counted. I don't know if they're counted in radicals. Maybe they are. They're counted in the population. Now, Western Serbia. Okay, get us some wood here. The port. Alright, so let's switch the port off of that. We don't need it for right now. Oh, the textile mill. Yeah, we don't have access to that, so let's not do that. Alright. We're slowly getting there. Hey, Golden Bear, hello. How is it going? Despite what it looks like, I mean, it's going well in the sense that we just won our independence. But our economy has taken a big shock. And so we're trying to climb out of that. Wait, why are we subsidizing a port? No to that. Now, do we actually need to keep subsidizing this? Which one is being subsidized? All right. Oof, yeah, we got major. All right. Now. So now the logging camps. We are majorly unprofitable. Mainly because I think we... hello, hello. Looks like we have some bugged problems. No, the bug was war. There's no bug. It increased all mines to water tube boiler. Going German economy after 1945. Oof. So definitely not Serb Weimar Republic RP. Nope, but we will get back there. I mean, hey, we did just get independence from from the Ottomans. Hold on, let's pause it here for a second. Yeah, we need these tools. And we can't get the iron going. We're gonna have to subsidize one of them. So let's get the tools subsidized for now. Get people working in there. Get that hired up. Then the iron mines can start building back up. Expensive independence. Yeah, it definitely was. Try Maxonomics for 2 months. Iron frame buildings and water tube boiler. Also remove all subsidies and see if it works. You don't have tools because iron is not in demand because you don't use it instead of... Yeah. Actually, yeah, that's a great point. Because looking at the iron mines, I assume the problem was because the iron mines have shortages, right? Where are they? Input good shortages on tools. No, yeah, the iron is expensive right now. Although, yeah, I guess that's because we don't have any of it. Yeah, let's try it. Yeah, that's true, because we're not building. It's our private sector that's doing it. I don't know if you watch MLB with your wife, but the Dodger bullpen, not disappoint their starter, they use Clayton Kershaw as reliever rather than using Tanner Scott's. I know, I've heard of Clayton Kershaw, but yeah, I don't know much about the rest of it. Every time I watch Dodger leading and got wrecked by Tanner Scott's, just boil my head how stupid David Roberts are. Oh, yeah, sorry, man. And go water tube boiler for the tools. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it says it'll make them more profitable, though. We don't need to save on labor anymore. We actually have a lot of labor. May consider to destroy the army if you have army that... Yeah, I've been looking at that. It's kind of what my next move is here. Oh, the logging. Yeah, we can't... It's like playing whack-a-mole with this stuff right now. Let's take a look at... Yeah, so we have peasants everywhere. I haven't played Wiki 3 for a while, and it shows. Oh, no, I mean coal iron mines level 3. Yeah, well, you can't do water tube boiler and coal and iron. We could do Atmo pumps, but we're already doing that. Yeah, I suppose we should move to that here. Railways, all right. Yeah, see, that's the other thing. We're over infrastructure here. So one railway is going to need just 5 engines. So we would need 10 engines. I wonder if we could import the engines. We should be able to import the engines. Yeah, condensing engine pumps. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's what I put them on. How come you lead 507 innings in a row? Only got to come back in the 8th with his bases loaded double homer. Tough days, tough days. We got to get our construction back on, though. All right, let's take a look here. And did the Eastern Serbia, I need you to hire this up. Maxonomics in 20 days. GDP up from 700K to 1 million. Deficit cut from 10K. I took macro at uni. Yeah. Well, also, we just... what was interesting about the end of this war is we lost so many people from starvation that when the war was over, if you notice, most of our buildings were not hired. So we had all of the buildings ready. We just needed people to start getting to work. So we also needed the time to get it going. But of course, then some buildings couldn't hire because of shortages. So what is going on with this stuff now? Yeah, everything's expensive. I wish the private sector would start building some cotton plantations. Time to birth, Max. Yeah, that's true. We need people. Also, what are we doing here? Ooh, we might be able to get to homesteading. I think that is what we want to go to next. I would like to get on protectionism. Let's do this for now. Well, no. They're not competing with each other. We have people to hire. We're not at the situation where we were before, where we had no peasants. The problem is we need to get people out of the subsistence farms. And we need people sooner rather than later. The other reason why I'm doing is we need people sooner rather than later getting to our grain prices, because that's a major reason why we're at this. Although, yeah, fruit too. We gotta get to that. Academics on the payroll of the government have founded village schools across the countryside of eastern Serbia. These village schools seek to increase literacy rates and foster a sense of Serbian national identity amongst the peasantry. We're definitely not taking this. We don't need any extra government expenses right now. The only sane or a new starter who's not give up until it's ready. Private sector is like a casino. There you wait for 777 to drop. Here you wait for industry buildings to drop. No, I mean, they're building what we need. They're going to build what there's a need for. Problem is we have... Oh, let's get this out of there. They might start building it. Problem is we just have a need for so much stuff. If If we got... My God, yeah, look at how much the construction goods cost, though. That's the problem. And it's largely fabric. But iron as well. Iron tools. It's working, Dusan, it's working. Yeah, how are our iron mines doing here? My guys, I need you to hire. Western Serbia, you have plenty of population. Oh. What's going on with the livestock ranches? We need more construction sectors, yeah. Well, we need to make the construction sectors more affordable first. What is our... So we are importing fabric quite a bit, actually. Of course, we got to get the opium imported. When you have money to start construction, you may want to build dynamite. Yeah, because later it will be harder to swap the production when you have more levels. Yeah, it would be nice to be able to get those going. That would help solve a lot of problems here. Also, Bulgaria has a ton of admin buildings. Oh, they do? Did I inherit a bunch of those? No. No, they don't have any. Usually it's best to swap it when they have level 10 estate. Oh, Western... Wait. How did we get... Oh, we inherited part of Western Serbia. They must have put a ton over here. Oh my lord. No wonder. Okay. There we go. Yeah, someone has a lot of... Yeah, it was Western Serbia. I guess when we acquired that section of Western Serbia, they must have had a lot there. What's going on with our paper mill? Because we can cut back... I see. Okay. So what we're going to do is... We're going to cut back. We're going to use this. The paper mill will hire up. I think it's over here. Oh, okay. We have a lead mine. And... Oh. Okay, we have plenty of wood now. Alright, we are going to turn the construction queue on. We still need to cover quite a bit of this. So, first thing we're going to do, build 2 of these there. we're going, we need more. All right, let's pause here. What is the first thing we need? Oh man, I went right through the break. Apologies to everybody. Got a little intense there. Yeah, I mean, it is on purpose right now because I didn't want to take a massive deficit to taxes because we were already in debt. Now we can probably afford it. But yeah, we were purposely not doing it before because we couldn't afford to do that. But we fixed the budget up a little bit here. All right, we're going to turn this on. Hey, Joe. Hello, hello. How are you? Welcome in. Welcome in. See what happens when we go to the next week. Oof, 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 oof. Okay. So tools in Western Serbia. I think honestly, what's gonna fix this for us is we're gonna do a steel mill. We're gonna do that sooner rather than later. We need... That'll fix our most expensive construction good here. Alright. So let's get the steel mill going. Alright, so we're starting to right the ship a little bit here. Central Archives, okay. So... we really need people in this paper mill right now. Damn, I hate high devastation. It's such a big handicap. Yeah, after they nerf the decay. Yeah, what is our devastation here? Ooh, oh no. Who's in obstinance? That is not good. The Turkish national movement. They want subjecthood. This is very, very not good. The Turkish national movement again. So the Yugoslav movement is in obstinance. The Turkish national movement. Why do you have such horrendous efficiency even in core territory? Yeah. Obstinance is like a devastating thing. So if you look at it, so we only have 2.7% here, but basically it cuts back on your tax collection, assimilation conversion, the effects of your institutions, and your conscriptable battalions. And it scales up based on the percentage of obstinance. So basically, like... Well, they're already militant, but the Yugoslav movement is in obstinance. So we need to appease. I guess though, what nationalities would be the ones, what cultures I mean, would be the ones that are upset causing the Yugoslav national movement to be in obstinance? It would be directly related to something. Yeah. So it tells you right down here. But it also will cut into our taxes. Yeah, I need some good old-fashioned authoritarianism. We got a lot of people upset here. So the Turkish national movement will be okay. We can't go to multiculturalism. We can go to subjecthood. But if we can raise their acceptance level, what is the Turkish acceptance right now? They're at 0. So if we could go to racial segregation, that would raise their acceptance. But they don't like racial segregation. There's also like nobody in this movement. Yeah, obstinance is really bad. It's real bad. But it's a midpoint between passivity and militant. So you get obstinance when your activism reaches 50%. And only movements that are attached to, like, only cultural movements can be an obstinance. So like the royalist movement, the nihilist movement, they can't be an obstinance. Yeah, like the Sunni rights movement, luckily they're not. The Yugoslav national movement. Okay, what could we do here? Yeah, why are you guys so upset? So it's all like Serbian, Bulgarian. But you guys are... Cultural's better, but you have low percentage to get it. Without National Guard or secret police, they're going to be a major problem. Yeah. Low tax will also calm them down a bit. Oh, you know, you're right. I forgot. We are still on massive taxes here. We could possibly lower things a little bit. I did it all this time. I bought the DLC at launch, and I managed to fulfill Metternich's dreams and maintain neo-absolutism throughout the game, as well as being able to form Great Austria. Austria is a Imperator Universo. Nice. Congrats. Wow. You made quick work of that. Between making the tutorial video and everything, I didn't actually get to start a run just for myself with Austria until like a couple hours before the stream here. Man. See, the problem is, I don't know. Yeah, we're paying a lot for the paper. Yes, hire that up, please. Hamcuts cannot pronounce Latin, and reverse hamcuts cannot spell them. Yeah. Yeah, I'm about to like change the tagline on all of my accounts everywhere that I stare at maps and mispronounce things because that's what I do. Troops in Bulgaria have reported more and more confrontations with belligerent mobs. Fighting will likely break out soon, even if nothing is ordered. There's only two ways to control the situation: either pull the troops back or tell them to engage. Man, we don't want more turmoil. We'll take this. I don't really care about this secession. We can squash that. Hey, NB, hello, hello. My boy's struggling, but doing good. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, this one's a bit of a struggle right now. Honestly, I think maybe we went for the independence a little too early. I should have built more of the economy, or more that of our economy that could sustain itself. I probably went a little too soon. If we could get these steel mills, we could make these tools so much more affordable. Struggle is more fun, though. Yeah, this is true. No thanks, they did enough damage for... Wait. Oh, wait, I missed something. Latin is not my strong point, but yes, Austria should rule the universe. The US should have a Habsburg. Everyone should. No thanks, they did enough damage. For Americans, they're basically like the Lannisters without any fun. The Lannisters without any fun. Yikes, yikes. Okay, so we're slowing down here because... What is our turmoil? Wait, is the Sunni... Oh my god, the Sunni rights movement is in obstinance now. They want total separation. The Yugoslav national movement. I cannot for the life of me figure out what is their deal. What's this? Wait, this guy's adding 35%? Plus 20% political movement activism. Can we just, like... Let's see. The amount of radicals generated. We'll get more radicals, but we'll lessen... Yeah. Goodbye. So is that going to get rid of this plus 35%? No. So the fervor of the Croatian, Serbian, Bosniak, and Slovene cultures. Yeah, and we got a ton of radicals, unfortunately. Let me look at chat here again. We're paying a lot in interest. 3.81K at the moment. As an American, I agree. Austria grosses me out. Why would anyone agree with that statement in 2025? I'm genuinely curious. By the First War, you mean the First World War? At least the neo-absolutist snobbery. Basically, this is what happened in Greece after the 2008 recession. Instead of bankrupting, you decided to get off default by cutting down on everything. Sharkenomic style. Results a smaller economy in 2025 than 2008 and a bunch of radicals. But hey, investors didn't lose their money. Yeah, you know, you make a good point. In the bankruptcy probably would have been the best thing to do. Which kind of leads me to believe, you know, we're fighting this battle right now. We could just like open our arms open wide and just fall right into a bankruptcy. That would solve quite a bit. And in the meantime, we could just build things and try to get it done before we get to the bankruptcy. Look, monarchists, perhaps. There are those who still see beauty in the so-called natural law. But getting back to it, Austria, to remain standing, should have created an impersonal identity. I don't think there are any monarchists who want to return to absolutism. There have been many since the 18th century. Finally, the Dodger bull. I feel so bad for you, Laplace. Your team is struggling. Finally, the Dodger bullpen not cursing and won 8-0 against Arizona Diamondbacks last night. Oh, well, there's some positivity. You should have tried to create something like a Danubian spirit, avoiding aggressive Germanization and Hungarian privileges, or at least avoiding the emergence of mass nationalism. I was talking about monarchists in general, not necessarily absolutists. Nowadays, most support constitutional monarchies or those some kind of moderating power. A new figure has risen in the ranks of the petite bourgeoisie, organizing an innovative pressure campaign in support of abolishing the corn laws. All right, yeah. We are going to... We're going to take the bankruptcy, I think. So I'm playing France, and I have a question for y'all. Is there any other... is there any other priority besides construction and keeping bureaucracy green? I have 7 million peasants and 500,000 unemployed. Yeah, I would say construction so that your private sector could build. Maybe add in, give somebody some investment rights, like just 1 or 2. And then, yeah, and just get as many things built to get people employed. Yes, don't collapse your government like in real life France. All right. So this is what this is what we're gonna do. We're just gonna go towards the bankruptcy, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna build up what we need for the construction sectors so that they are more affordable by the time we get to the bankruptcy, so that we can get something out of it. So, and we might as well just raise the standard of living. Get rid of the consumption taxes. Give me some road maintenance so that we can... Oh, let's get rid of... I forgot we still had those going. So that we can build quicker. And then lower taxes to try to get as many people out of radicalism that we can. And let's just do this. Liberalism and national self-determination was the zeitgeist of the era. Nothing can stop that. Perhaps people can dream all they want of a tolerant Austria, a federation of ethnic groups. or Hungarian noblemen who didn't think within the frames of aristocratic privilege, but that is not the reality of the mid-19th century. They didn't think like we think. Oh, look at this. All right, the Bulgarian Homestead Act. Claiming that Bulgaria's prime land should be settled by virtuous yeomen like themselves, the homesteading law proposal is experiencing a surge of popularity among members of the rural folk, eyeing an opportunity in the frontiers, to the great chagrin of the landowners currently dominating the agricultural sector. Vote yourself a farm in Bulgaria. Ooh, migration attraction. Yeah, we will take that. First, the legislature shall be won over, then the frontier. Oh, we'll get plus 10%, actually. That's not so bad. We get more radicals. Jesus. Yeah, we don't want more radicals. Yeah, we'll do that one. Mobs have surrounded an arsenal in Bulgaria, threatening to seize the arms and munitions stored within. While the guards are staving off attacks for now, if no relief is sent, then the arsenal will fall to insurrectionists. Oh, yeah, I forgot about this Turkish national movement. Yeah, I'd rather take the radicals from the officers. The monarchists, maybe, but the mentality lingers on in different kinds of form. Perhaps you're right. What could have been done against this would have had to have been done back in the late 18th century. Still, I consider with all its flaws a fascinating historical experiment. Oof. There aren't any monarchists left nowadays in Europe, outside Britain and Scandinavia. Even in Spain, they're in the minority, much less in Austria, just saying. Isn't there's one monarchy with power left in Europe, right? Is it Spain? I forget which one it is. Matei Raul, hey, hello, welcome. Have unemployment in big country, it's not a bad thing because they will migrate in the state where you don't have enough manpower to scale up the raw resources. If you have 2 to 5% unemployment, it's fine. Yeah, this is true, but we're not really a big country. Though we are a minor power. Outside Europe, there's Saudi and Brunei. Even that is small. Ball and larger policy of self-determination government. No, Romania. Oh. I hate autocorrect. We're focusing on Europe, but yes, microstates in Asia also exist. God, what's with my keyboard and autocorrect? In Romania, there's still a certain nostalgia for the monarchical period. There must be cases like this here or there, but yes, in the mainstream, this is a non-issue. I don't know, I feel like there's I feel like there's corners of the US right now that are pining for a monarchy. Unfortunately. Alright, let's check in on... Okay. So we've got all of the cultural movements. Oh, well, no, we still have obstinance from the Sunni rights movement. And the Turkish movement is going to be doing their thing. Yeah, their base level of acceptance. I think we do need to go for... We're going to try to go for racial segregation next. Alright, we have homesteading. So the intelligentsia and the rural folk like that, and only the intelligentsia like that. All right, so we'll go for racial. Oh man, what? Oh, the Turkish uprising. How many soldiers do these guys have? 3. Okay. Actually, good thing we do this now before we take the bankruptcy and we get that big malice to our army offense defense. Did Reverse Ham just write an entire text on Romanian nostalgia in the Brazilian language and then delete it, or did I miss that? Yeah, no, I think he did it in both languages. It's kind of cool. And in France, all you have to do is to spam iron, coal, tools, steel, and wood. Let the private construct other things and keep iron frame, so you open up all iron mines. Yeah, but also if you can get yourself a company that will build a lot of that stuff too, that would be good. Yes, I'm practicing in some languages I didn't realize I had written. There isn't a single country in Europe that is a monarchy with power. The Vatican technically, so yeah. Okay, yeah, I thought I had heard years ago there's one monarchy left somewhere in Europe. I guess not. Are you Brazilian? Also, I wrote Brazilian language. I meant Portuguese language. Brain farted there. Fun fact, rounding up, this is a recipe for 100 construction sectors with water tube and Bessemer. 100 construction sectors, 41 tooling workshops, 8 steel mills, 92 iron mines, 27 coal mines, 27 logging camps, 50 cotton plantations. Oof. Uruguayan. Oh, yeah, okay. George Washington would shame with America nowadays lingering with the idea of Oh, I know. Yeah. I think he would. I think George Washington would just straight up invade us and slap us down and be like, what the hell's wrong with you people? You forgot about Liechtenstein. Oh, is that what it is? Is Liechtenstein the one? Sounds like a useless recipe. Very few countries of 100 iron frame sectors. By then, everyone will have steel frames. And Luxembourg. It's parliamentary democracy with regular elections. Also, parliamentary democracy where the Grand Prince is constitutionally limited. You build 5 construct iron in each state because it's more easy to swap on steel frame later, but you have to keep iron frame because under that you can go up all mines and wood. All right, hold on. So let's catch up here on what we need to build. Too bad those guys split off. Really wanted to get the cotton plantations done there. What are we subsidizing still? Trade center. Do we need to? Yeah, we do. Okay. We're still bad in fruit and meat for people to not starve. So for livestock here, let's go there. All right, we have our steel mill. So let's switch all the tools to steel tools. And they will build up. All right, let me catch up again here. No, in Liechtenstein, despite the parliamentary structure, the monarchy still possesses certain powers. The fact that the monarch's power is somewhat limited does not mean that it does not exist. You'll hire faster that way because the mines would take less time and the people that work there will increase the general demand in the market. So the private will supply that while you focus on the industry. Yeah, I do have a bit of a cosmopolitan chat, right? Oh, okay. So they're all ceremonial duties now. Oh, with the exception of Liechtenstein and Monaco that are considered. Yeah, I do want to switch to steel frame, but if I beeline that, it's like 17 years. Oh, yeah, yeah. Get my head chopped off by pissed off peasants. Semi-constitutional. Yeah, in Vatican, that is an absolute monarchy, but without a king, just a pope. A Chicago native this time around. I know. Imagine that. Imagine that. Maybe the Cubs will finally win the World Series. Yeah, stuff is getting weirder and weirder each week. That is not normal. I repeat, this is not normal in the USA. Yeah, there is just it is crazy. It is crazy times in the US right now. I think what's also craziest about it is this feeling of you have no idea what's happening next. Like it feels like the only thing you know is that something crazier is going to happen. You just don't know what. Have all iron open. There will allow you to use a lot of coal, dynamite, and because of that, you will build other things. What about provinces and democracy? Oh, hold on. Wait, why are we off to... Our radical population is hurting our war score. Oh, okay, but we are getting closer to getting them. Hard to be shocked if it's the US. Yeah. No, what is happening in the US right now is shocking because it shouldn't be happening. I love how the Vatican as well as Saudi Arabia are just sincere. No, we are not a democracy. Back in the future predicted the Cubs winning. Yeah, not only did they predict the Cubs winning, they predicted there was going to be a Miami team. That was kind of shocking too, because when that movie was made, there was no Miami team. The Cubs played Miami in the World Series. Newspapers across the world are reporting about war crimes committed by our soldiers during our recent conflict with the Turkish rebels. Publicly hang our general. Oh my god. But we'll still get 15 infamy. Our contracts in our contacts in the French Republic will vouch for us. The next rebels will get much worse. Yeah, we'll use the French Republic thing. Okay, let's get some cotton plantations built. We need those sooner rather than later. The game is so much easier when you don't care about going into bankruptcy. Imagine that. I heard Obama was going to enact martial law back in 2015. I heard he would do it in Texas. Also, he was a communist. Oh, some prominent people said. For a second there, Joe, I was like, wait, what? No, he didn't. That's why you finished reading the comment. Yeah, exactly. Also, you know, the right, there was this massive thing going around the right at the end of his second term that he wasn't going to leave. They're like, look, watch, he's not leaving. He's going to stay in office. Like, no, he's not. People don't do that. And the reason why they said that is because there are a certain corner of the U.S. where they don't want the leader to leave at the end of their second term. Yeah, no, Laplace. Yeah, that was, I think he was being sarcastic. But there were people who said that. Ham cuts. Wait, are we seriously discussing Obama being a communist? Are you joking, right? No, yeah. No, Joe was being sarcastic. Right? Wait. Yeah, Max, if you were alive when he was president, you heard it on radio and TV. Yeah. No, I got the sarcasm there, but it's true. That is what people said. That is what people said, and it's nuts. Sorry, mate, I was being too defensive and no, first time I heard it online. Yeah. There's no more Turkish pies made out of golden wheat. Like what Agent K said, yeah, people are stupid. Man, do you know, it's funny you say that. It was right after the 2016 US presidential election. I saw that scene again, and I had, like, forgotten that line. And then when I saw that in that context, after that period, I was like, man, who knew that movie was going to be so insightful? The once great Ottoman Empire was unable to contain the burgeoning unrest in the Balkans. Unrest may continue to grow. Oh, whoa, okay. Oh, you guys. Look at this. We could have, if we were still a subject of them right now, every Ottoman subject for 10 years will get additional maneuvers per diplomatic play plus 25% technology spread for military. That would have been nice. 25 proportional fervor for the Serbian culture pops in the Ottoman Empire. Huh. And we got fieldworks. The aged Vuk Stefanovic Kardazak, leader of the intelligentsia, has unexpectedly expired mid-campaign, robbing the Liberal Party of a cornerstone politician. The question of his replacement is now on everyone's lips. Yeah, let's give momentum to the Liberal Party. Oh, we got the Twitch bot. Let me get rid of the Twitch bot here. All right. Ooh, chat is flying tonight. Hold on, let me try to keep up. I should be sleeping instead. I'm watching Ham Cuts doing war crimes while listening to yeah, instead you're watching me do war crimes. The Great Eastern Crisis is completed. Oh, touche, touche. Sleeping, it's 9:10 here. He even has Kardashian as a politician. Kardashian. Not anymore. He's he's dead now. Jokes write themselves. Oh. Oof. Okay. Tech. Oh, good. We're getting joint stock companies and tech spread. We'll leave that there. So what we really need is the production lines here. We're getting canneries at the moment. We really need to get some explosives to help with the rest of our production lines. Oh, no. Hold on. We'll do that, and then we'll do that. And then we should be down here. Yeah. Okay, good. We'll do that for now. We actually do... Okay, we really do need also... I forgot. We need some railways. Oh, God, we got to incorporate these guys again. And then... over here, where we have the steel mill, we'll build a motor industry. And we'll do that before all these agro buildings. Croatia's improving relations. Milojko, Sijan, and Zoran Lejanin were spotted in discussions about the coming election. Preachers the next day were extolling virtues of the Conservative Party. But to be honest, American democracy is too solid to fall. It is not an equator of life. It is a country that was born as a democracy. I hope you're right, my friend. I hope you are right. I am worried. Agreed, but remember, German democracy was too solid to fall. Yeah, exactly. Any democracy can fall. Democracy is only as good as the people enacting it at the moment. Nothing lasts forever. The Roman Council is too solid to have an emperor. Yeah. I disagree, as I believe that the government always adapts to its context. For example, I don't think some countries can embrace democracy. China, for example, Russia, countries with 1,000-year-old autocratic tradition. See, the problem right now with the United States is we have systems in place to protect against autocracy and forms of totalitarianism. But what the problem is that people aren't using those mechanisms. They aren't enacting the safeguards that are put in place, and so it's like, you know, it's like we have like the glass that says in case of a dictator, break glass, but everybody is like, just no, don't break the glass, just leave it alone, don't do anything. And so what good is having the safety mechanism if nobody's using it? For anyone who doesn't know, Karadzic was the president of Republika Srpska, a splinter state in Bosnia during the Yugoslav wars. Oh, and he was put on trial in The Hague for war crimes. Oh my god. Well, he's dead now in this game. Weimar Germany was unstable. The German Empire was more of a military dictatorship than anything else. Speaking of stability, German democracy is recent. To be honest, is very fragile, and at the moment, if you speak in negative of the wrong side, you will be silenced and lose your livelihood. I wish I was joking. Yeah. Yeah. Um, I think that's the scary part, is that people are okay with that type of thing right now. Like, there were certain things in the country that you were like, people have their political disputes, but there's a certain baseline that you're like, this is what would be not acceptable. And that baseline seems to be gone. Our neighbors in the Ottoman Empire have become known for their ruthless foreign policy, a concern that the Conservative Party has raised in their election campaign, promising to be harsher in turn to deter aggression. Yeah. I don't want... Yeah, the Conservative Party is going to win this, though. That's a flawed Anglo-Saxon view. They think that they are correct and that they are inherently democratic and backward. Asiatics and inherently despotic authoritarian. In fact, real direct democracy has never happened in the West. In fact, even real representative democracy didn't happen until the early 20th century for the US UK, when universal suffrage was enacted. America nowadays is very sensitive which side you are on. Yeah. It's kind of gotten to that point where you have to be like, all right, you need to declare first what side you're on. Honestly, I was just talking about this today with somebody. Oh my God, Joe. Thank you so much. That is amazing. Joe, thank you for the super chat. Wow. I appreciate that. That's very humbling. Whoa. I appreciate you to no end. Huh. I don't really know what to say. Thank you. Well, that kind of sounds like kind of too little, but I appreciate that. To free speech, yes. To free speech, my friend. Hopefully we can keep it. Hopefully we can keep it, right? I want to catch up on chat, but I do want to make this point before I forget it. Social media, I realize, has been a big... You have to factor that in, has been a big detriment to the way we interact with people. And I was telling somebody this today, and I kind of forgot about this. My roommate in college was just the absolute opposite of me politically. And this was during the years of George W. Bush, who I have absolutely no love for. But he was a big George W. Bush fan. And so we were just completely opposite on almost every political argument. And yet we got along wonderfully. We were like best friends through college. And we had political debates all the time. But it was great. And we had our debates, and then we would be done, and then we would do something else, right? And that's because we were always interacting in person, face to face. We could see each other's facial expression. We could hear the person's tone of voice and all this. And so it always worked. And then after college ended, our lives split up. He went out west, I stayed out east. But we kept in touch and everything. But then the interactions all became through social media, like through public social media or private messaging and stuff like that. And we finally got to a point where we don't talk anymore. He unfriended me and didn't want to talk to me anymore. And I wasn't going to, kowtow to the things he was saying. And so I think that's what social media does. You can't have meaningful political discourse on social media. I've lost faith in it as a useful means of communication. And I was thinking about that today as an example. When we would discuss things in person, it worked. The moment it went online to social media, it stopped working, you know? It's W for the chat. Yeah, thank you, man. Sorry, now I'm catching up on chat here after I wax poetically about that. All right. That being said, okay, so we're at the 2 hour mark here. So let's take a break since we missed the first hour mark. Let's take a quick break because now since I missed the first break, I really do have to go to the bathroom and get a drink here. So we'll do 90 seconds and then we'll be right back. All right, and we're back, and we are back. As it was a Social Democrat controlled Reichstag who voted for mobilization and war, actually. Bill Duck is gone. Now you get to come back and read my 5+ messages full of text, but I'd love to hear your views. Don't mind if you disagree. Yeah, hold on. I think I missed a little bit, actually. It's a flawed Anglo-Saxon... Oh, wait. No, I had that one. Even when universal suffrage was enacted, it did not apply to many states who use Jim Crow laws. So we have a century-old democracies pointing the finger to new democracies. Weimar Germany was the most literate and educated country in the world, one of the most progressive. Germans read the most books per capita. Every town had its own newspaper. It didn't help them. Our democracies and freedoms are fragile, even in countries with strong institutions. We are 2 steps away from authoritarianism, and it seems that way nowadays in the US and some other places. I did not deny that, but that does not necessarily guarantee a democracy in sociological terms. Remembering it was a transitory and brief regime coming from an autocratic monarchy. I don't think the dystopia that's coming will be ideological or government. Check out Brit cards, corporate supremacy, and all that has arrived. I do agree, though, oh, wait. Oh, Downfall. Downfall is the greatest movie of all time. Prove me wrong. Oh, man, I never watched that. I know of that movie. I used to work at a Blockbuster. I worked at Blockbuster when I was in college. And so I always wanted to get that, but I didn't get to it. I haven't thought of that movie in a long time, though. It's decent, and the actor playing the guy is phenomenal, but I wouldn't say it's my favorite. No, Maximilian, I agree with you that I don't think any democracy is too solid to fail. I think it's just like any democracy is only as good as the people that are currently enacting it. And so you always have a new democracy basically based on the people that you have. And so, you know, that line that it's like every 120 years you have all brand new people in the world, you know? So it all depends on the people of the time. And hold on. An eruption of unprecedented records has utterly destroyed the lives of many Dutch East Indies in the state of West Java. The explosion of the Krakatoa could be heard from hundreds of miles away, and anything that had the ill fate of surrounding the island was immediately devastated. You know, recently... yeah, no, we don't want to take government expenses for that. Recently, there was her name? Megyn Kelly was talking on whatever internet network she's on now. I know for anybody not based in the U.S. doesn't know who she is. She's like a conservative talking head. It was much more prominent when she was on Fox News, but not so much anymore. She said something that I feel like was very accurate, actually, not in the way that she intended. It was more like, I think you kind of said the thing out loud that you weren't supposed to say. But she basically said, like we have never been okay since Obama, you know? And I'm paraphrasing what she said a lot, but that was basically the gist of it. Like, we, meaning the right, have never been okay since you inflicted Obama on us. And I think there's a lot to that. And those were her words. I was like, yeah, you're right. I think the right of the country kind of lost it after the years of Obama. Downfall doesn't come close to Hangover 2. Not even Hangover 1. Hangover 2. The part where he is in the bunker with his generals. Chef's kiss. I think I have seen that scene, actually. I've seen that scene before. Yeah, it's an amazing scene. It's good, but I prefer Glory and All Quiet on the Western Front. Yeah. The rant meme. Basically, my point is that even if you claim that the Anglo-Saxon world was democratic when landlords had the right to vote, it still is a young democracy and shouldn't look down to Russia, China. I mean, yeah. Well, first of all, I think you can't compare, countries, because every country has a different history. Every country has a different thing going on, right? Like, every country has a moment going on. And different circumstances that led to things. Like, so to say any democracy is more ingrained in people's culture and history as opposed to others, I don't buy that. I don't think the people of Saudi Arabia are more inclined to a monarchy because the Saudis are in rule The problem is the people of Saudi Arabia have no say in their government and they're being oppressed. They don't want them there, but there's nothing they can do about it at the moment, or until something does happen. But I don't think because they have a monarchy, it means that they're more inclined to have a monarchy. It's more of an imposed monarchy. I have a question. Why did you climb that mountain that time thinking you were a god in the cult of the goddess of reason? Or other developing nations as despotic and backwards as a lot of liberals do. I did not climb any mountain. It was a prompt, and I never believed it in my divinity. I believed that I was oh, hold on. Sorry. Oh, Milos Abramovic just died. So now, all right. We have an enlightened royalist. We have an enlightened royalist. We could rush to human rights, but multiculturalism is not what it used to be anymore. But let's look at what the rest of what we get with this guy. He's got tuberculosis, Jesus. And he's sickly. Nothing there. So other than some authority, we actually don't get much from him. But at least his laws are a little better. What country are you in? The USA has like 60 different moments at a time with 50 states and territories. That's true too. Like, people forget we are a large country with a lot of people. And so when you compare the US to like countries in Europe, you forget that like it's kind of not a fair comparison. You have to compare states in the US to countries in Europe just in terms of like, at least in some cases, land mass and population wise. He's from the country of Vehizelos. I was a deist anyway. I didn't believe in the God of Abraham, but in a supreme being, creator of the world, influenced by Enlightenment beliefs of religious tolerance, without breaking off with liberal traditions of God-given rights and morality, deriving from a creator who made everyone being born equal under him. Yeah. Enlightened royalist, when your heir randomly falls in love with the culture you hate. Yep. Yeah, we got that one in, I think the episode earlier today. You know, it's funny, we've been going toward debt we're kind of deficit spending. Because our debt limit keeps going up. I intended to just take us right to right to bankruptcy, but we're doing okay. So let's tax the wealthy here. Yeah, 130 is like not even worth it. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. I really hope things get better for you financially. It's much better. Yeah, we have economic growth for years now. Cost of living is what bites us in the ass. Welcome to New York. You should invest in Greece, by the way, objectively as an economic minor. Their bonds have better yields than all other advanced economies, and the stock market is stable growing. No bubble like the US. Huh. Oh, Mauricio, hey, hello. Hi, Ham and everybody. How is the game going now? It's going. It's good and bad at the same time. Here's our GDP graph. You can kind of see what happened. It's been a tale of two different Serbias. I'm actually Kind of surprised we haven't hit bankruptcy yet. And we need a horror Halloween Let's Play. With a dark room giveaways. And reactions to jump scares. Oh my god. I feel like if I told my daughter, I need you to decorate this entire stream background for Halloween, she'd be like, I've been waiting for you to ask that forever. Yeah. Who should be my Halloween costume? I should dress up as Metternich. I should be reverse ham cuts. Come in dressed as Metternich, play as Austria. Do cheeses left and right. Hey, this game isn't going poopy. We've recovered. We have recovered. Oh, Ham, I wanted to thank you again for letting me appear in your last videos. This gameplays of mine from the United States are cool, right? Oh, yeah. You saw that? My $1 billion USA runs. Yep. Yep. I do play the big countries offline sometimes. It depends. When I'm trying to figure out certain game mechanics, I'll play as the large countries and just kind of do runs with that. When I play for fun, I'll play as the smaller ones. That's your US play, the border gore you do to West Canada. Do you know when I put that in there, I was kind of wondering if people were going to comment on it on the video. What did you do to Canada? Yeah, I was having a USA run where I was going for the economic dominance objective. I'm currently on like a kick to get the objectives because I've ignored them for so long. So I did the economic dominance one. When I got the economic dominance one, I was like, well, what do I do now? And I realized I never have gotten the Star Sworn Banner achievement where you need 100 incorporated states as the United States. So I said, all right, let's do that. And so I just started attacking everybody left and right. It didn't work very well. Yeah, and taking Mexico, yeah. That's also why I had something like 150 or 180. I think it was 180 infamy on that video. All right, excellent. So, well, not excellent because we don't have meat and fish in our market. What are we importing here? You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna start importing some of this wheat. Yeah, we need... Oh, why is it... No, start importing some of it. But seriously, a horror game on Halloween, like, No, I Am Not Human would be cool. With you dressed as me and me as you, I would try playing Congo. Well, I wonder, you know, last year, the devs for Victoria 3 released like a Halloween update where you got to, if you started as Wallachia, you could uncover Dracula, and that was kind of fun. I wonder if they'll do something like that again. Although I don't know how many other Halloween-themed historical stuff there is in the 19th century world. Maybe like Frankenstein or something like that. All right, so we now have this in Eastern Serbia. Although I do have to ask myself the question, I should have built the one in Western Serbia first. Although we seem to have infrastructure now. Oh yeah, there's always that zombie mod in Victoria 3. You know, I tried that one out. Ooh, here we go. But The zombies never came. I don't know what happened there. I actually left a comment on it asking if what's going on, and apparently they need to update it for like some of the new updates. What are your thoughts on a possible conflict with Russia? I see our top military brass is all assembled back home. Yeah, isn't that nuts? The like full 180 that's happened with the views on Russia of this current administration. Like just kind of crazy. That now we're gonna take a hard line with Russia. Ooh. Oh, no, that's not us. Okay. Yeah, so something that would have steel would be nice. Ooh, although... something that would give us more people, too. Acorn-fed pork. See, it would be nice to do one of the prestige, one of the Serbia-specific countries. We might get this company, but at a different time. We don't really need it right now. The Great Hungarian Plain. Oh, yeah. Not us. Slovakia. Oh. Look at this. Yeah, these aren't anywhere near us. Yeah, I would like to get a company that has steel, but I don't want to overlap with anything. Oh, here we go. Oh, here, this is what we're going to do. Tools and steel. Excellent. And we could get precision tools. We're going to do this. And plus 5% manufacturing industries throughput. So we need a level 5 tooling workshop. Eastern Serbia it is. We just need 2 more. Now yeah, let's just get that. There's always that... oh yeah, that zombie mod. Still within the suzerain... Drew already tied. Now, Ham, you should start soon. Oh, wait, still waiting for the suzerain. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I need to give that one a try, right? It's true, you have to play suzerain Ham. I'm bossing you around Metternich style. Yeah, I bought it. I have it. Oh, we're paused. Yeah. I just need to load it up, give it a try first. If President Trump was president, this would have never happened. I hope my egotistic president that loves military so much not dragged us in war. We love our neutrality. Our president kind of military leaning and want his tiger Asian dream. The whole world seems to be kind of leaning towards that at the moment, huh? Alright, here we go. We're almost there. We're almost at our... It's interesting, though. Our debt limit is... We've been kind of deficit spending this the whole time. It's kind of crazy. So we'll tax services. And I guess we will tax luxury clothes. Actually, no. I want to keep the authority. So we'll just do services. Oh, and we aren't doing any laws at the moment. Yes, I would like to get to protectionism here. Although, it would be nice to get rid of these corn laws. But I don't want to... I want to be able to tariff things. Alright, so we'll start with this. Oh, there we go. I forgot. We were getting that 5 grand from the Ottomans. Yeah, the armed forces and police is now in the red with the public. As an international relations major, there is not a chance U.S. troops will ever be involved in Ukraine in active combat roles, possibly not even in advisory roles. Ukraine is lost to Russia. I actually don't believe Ukraine is lost to Russia, but I absolutely agree with you. I do not think an American soldier will ever be over there. I don't think anybody wants that to happen, including the current administration. At least everybody is aware of the potential problem with that. Look at the new stance of the U.S. It will be there soon. Maybe no boots on the ground. Oh, yeah. No boots on the ground. But it does kind of sound like, yeah, suddenly our president is like, we're all for Zelensky. Which is great. I'm only kind of rolling my eyes because he just spent years being so vehemently against him. Like, I don't know what the what the big change suddenly is. Okay, also these guys. What is the deal here? Coal mines in eastern Serbia. Why are these coal mines never doing well? Do we have an abundance of coal? We do. That's why. Okay. So we'll do... Well, I don't want it to be that. Alright, so that's going up a little bit, I guess. And although I still have pro-Ukraine feelings, although my resolve is severely weakened, to be perfectly honest and unbiased with you, you shouldn't get involved into that. I don't think Ukraine ever fought on their own. Maybe unofficially, but formally they're only lend-lease of military equipment. Yeah, I mean, I really... I guess I'll say, yeah, I don't know what would happen with our current administration at all, but I hope people are advising him enough to say, don't put U.S. soldiers in Ukraine shooting at Russian soldiers. That, I think the entire world would say, please don't do that. That would be quite an escalation. Wait, we are the primary culture in 2 independent countries. Are we now? Oh, we got an independent Croatia. Oh, yeah, yeah. I bet. Yeah, Montenegro. I forgot. Okay. Forgot Montenegro is independent. More pragmatically inclined members of the industrialists currently opposed to the passing of protectionism have offered to change their stance were they to be offered certain political concessions. Such concessions would not be popular with the rural folk. Yeah, we'll take this. We'll get ourselves our plus 10% there. Let's unwrap everything. Russia has invaded Ukraine. Ukraine cannot receive direct NATO aid without provoking a war. The West is helping Ukraine with the sole purpose of helping them survive. There's no direct intervention. Against a geopolitical enemy, Trump was in bed with Putin and now talks the big game because he was publicly ridiculed by him. Putin is winning with the current status of the small-scale war. Ham put Faded Rose in the music. For me, it's the best music in the game. Oh, I wanted to play the piano just to play it. Faded Rose. I've never actually looked at the names of any of these. Faded Rose. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have that one. Oh, I see. Okay, you gotta click on them here. There we go. Oh, this one. Yeah, this is a banger. Oh man, what fresh nonsense is this? Frost. Alright, not so bad. The only reason Ukraine still has land is because of the US. Europe is full of paper tiger who would fall to the Texas National Guard in a 1v1. We are not the same, buddy. We can change the outcome on the drop of a dime. Yeah, I mean, I do believe, like, if the U.S. military actually wanted to go in and affect the outcome of this, it would end. But I feel like there would be a conflict that arose out of it that would be devastating. Ultimately, we don't want the U.S. and Russia at war. That is just a... regardless of whose military is what compared to the other, there's enough damage that can be inflicted by both sides. I think nobody wants that to happen, regardless of who would win that conflict. They would still be mutual disaster for both. The state's efforts to define the nation by a shared Serbian identity have spurred a feeling of alarm amongst its Sephardim population. Many Sephardim people fear that they will be forced to assimilate into the dominant culture. What is their current fervor? Okay, it's not that high. Due to the drop in temperature caused by the volcanic eruption, all the crops in western Serbia have been destroyed in the subsequent disease outbreak, and now the farmers have come begging for help. Ooh, yeah. Okay, this one, unfortunately, we will take. Frustrated with the lengthy legal process surrounding protectionism, Vajislav Marinovich of the Rural Folk has approached us with an offer to expedite the process utilizing his personal connections within the state apparatus. Yeah, we'll take that. Nobody wants a mutually assured destruction war, yeah. I have no idea what he plans to do, but Putin is comfortable with the current situation. Trump isn't because he promised peace. That was his platform. In fact, he went as far as to blame Biden for it. I think Trump just wants like a Nobel Peace Prize. Putin disrespected Trump and he feels slighted, so now he's going to send more than Ukraine will need to win back the territory. We have the drones, money, and weapons. I do fear that Trump would... There is a situation where he would send troops there. And yeah, I think it would be something more in the lines of like a personal attack on him, like a verbal attack. I do kind of fear that, to be honest. We still have quite a bit of turmoil, mainly because we have all these radicals. Yeah, a lot from the standard of living decreases. Aw, come on. From starvation? What's wrong, guys? Yeah, we gotta get the standard of living back up. The end game is that there's no way to help Ukraine outside of paying financial and military assistance in the form of aid. Any direct involvement will provoke Russia to escalate, and nobody wants that. Like Johann Walsmore. Oh, yes, see, reverse camp. That's in the melody of the masses. See, I'm so behind. Also, public opinion. Both political parties do not want to send boots on the ground. That's not going to happen thanks to the shenanigans of Bush, who has made deployment politically impossible. I do feel like that is something people would kind of block him and stop him on. Because ultimately, people don't want to die. Or at least be in situations where that attacks might happen on American soil. So I do think people would would prevent that from happening. I think that is the point. People would finally give some pushback, which is not happening anytime or to anyone. This reminds me of Family Guy. There's no justification for invading Iraq. I don't remember that one. If Russia's economy is collapsing, then that was the goal. Why fight an enemy that is stable? Europe has the best tech. Not only they buy American, they produce frigates, jets, destroyers. The U.S. is purchasing. It says a lot. I mean, I don't know, Maximilian. The one thing the U.S. has is the military. We spend quite a lot on it. In fact, we spend way too much on it. I think the one thing the U.S. has is a very strong military. That's why war nowadays just poking and waiting for reaction. Yeah. No boots on the ground, but if we can, Europe to get their head out of their butts and stop buying Russian goods and oil, we could win. I mean, it is true, like Europe. I mean, to be fair, Europe hasn't done a lot to aid Ukraine. There's been a lot of like verbal aid, we support you, but not a lot of... It hasn't amounted into a lot of actual things that the Ukrainians could use in the war. Not saying there's nothing, but not enough. It's good that Latin America is irrelevant. Gracias. For now. Also, very quietly, France has become a very strong country in military terms over Macron's term. Oh, is that true? That's interesting. The Latin American problems, the cartel. Which country are you located? Uruguay. You perceive our unwillingness to spend $1 trillion a year on the military as weakness. It's a wrong assessment. It is unnecessary and a burden. We have no reason to turn our countries into Israel, North Korea type of fortresses. Oh no, Maximilian, don't get me wrong. The United States spends way too much money on the military. I wish we didn't. I think the problem is we spend so much on it that that's why we can't afford other things. I'm not saying we shouldn't spend money on the military, but I mean, when you look at the actual amount that we spend, it is outrageous. How much we say we can't afford certain things in the country, but then you look at how much, not only how much spending there is, but how much wasteful spending there is. The search for a shared national identity has turned the interests of the intelligentsia to the countryside. Studying the traditions of the rural folk is widely seen as a glimpse into a primordial Serbian culture untouched by foreign rule. Yeah, we'll take this one. Not gonna lie, I always invade your country in victory. Yeah, you mean Uruguay? I think everybody does, unfortunately. Sorry there, Reverse. Mr. Reverse Hamcuts. Joe, no problem. I hope you enjoyed the meat. Oh my god, brilliant. No direct intervention can happen anytime soon because everyone doesn't want a nuke launch. Yeah, I mean, in the end, that's what it is. Those nuclear weapons. Nobody wants that. I take care of Uruguay bigly. President Trump is making the USA an Iron Dome for a reason. Yeah, that's true, right? He wants to build, yeah, like that Iron Dome like Israel has. How do you respond to that? I didn't stutter. I didn't say the U.S. doesn't have a strong military. I didn't say Europe couldn't land on D.C. and turn the Yanks into the 13 colonies. All I said is that, no, Texas cannot beat Europe. Texas cannot beat Greece. Oh, Texas. Oh, no, I meant like, I think you had said like, you know, Europe, where is it here? Yeah, you perceive our unwillingness to spend $1 trillion a year on the military's weakness. That's a wrong assessment. Yeah, I was saying I don't see not spending $1 trillion on the military as weakness. In fact, I wish we the U.S. spent less money on the military. In the midst of the debate surrounding protectionism, one of the country's leading playwrights strongly associated with the rural folk has staged a widely acclaimed play whose politically laden theme makes no secret of the author's desire for the law to be passed. Oof, protectionism is proven difficult. Oh, hold on. Okay, so we are now in default, so it is time, my friends. We're doing it. And there we go. All right. So let's fix everything up here. Let's get tax tobacco. And opium. And luxury clothes. And there. Ooh, yeah, but but we're not building. Oh, I forgot we lost our build queue. Hope the U.S. continues to invest heavily in the military. How else would I have those awesome edits of the U.S. Navy while Thunderstruck plays in the background? Europe versus USA equals USA. Greece versus Texas equals Texas. I mean, I would say I don't know what would happen with Greece versus Texas, because I certainly hope Texas doesn't have its own military to go fighting somewhere, because that means something terribly wrong has happened in the country. If any state has its own military. Turkish students sometimes use their native language in Serb schools. Some have called for teachers to penalize the use of these languages, forcing children to speak the official language of Serbia. Yeah, we will. Yeah. Yeah, anything to get the radicals down here. Sava Dorvejic, an infamous exile still strongly connected with the trade unions, has announced his return in melodramatic fashion. Oh yeah, this guy. Yeah, we exile you guy. This is the guy that made everybody go crazy in the country. We don't want you back. Trade unions leadership have expressed concerns that he may cause trouble for themselves and the nation at large. He damn well will. Um, God. Fine. Fine, we'll take that. Alright, we need to get the construction going again. So, what did we end up getting with those? How far did we get with the tools? Yeah, so we just need one more. And then, yeah, I don't think we ever got... Yeah, we never got our motor industry or railroad here. So there we go. And we'll turn this back on. Yeah, thanks for mentioning France is now the second largest weapon exporter. We are buying French. Vietnam versus USA equals Vietnam. Afghanistan versus USA. Afghanistan. Korea versus USA. Draw. Private inflammatory letters written by a member of the Serb-Russian Fellowship have been linked to the national newspaper. Russian officials have taken notice and are displeased. Yeah, I will do this. Whatever will get me less radicals here. Oh, is it now playing that sound of some event when it's not supposed to? Macron is probably the most important leader in the world other than Trump for that reason. Trump is not even top 10. I don't know. I mean, I think just because of the power of the United States, anybody who is the president of the United States is in the top 10 of influential leaders. U.S. military more than Trump. Yeah. He's just their employee, but the U.S. military vetoes everyone else's opinions. If important is neutral, yes, Trump's relevance lies in being controversial and chaotic. Oh, hey, Sharky Boy. Oh, you're not looking so good. Yeah, it's funny you say that because we're looking better actually than we were before. We recovered from an economic collapse that our independence war caused us. Now, the construction, though, we are losing quite a bit. Wait, what are we subsidizing? Trade centers and tooling workshops. What? What? No. And tooling workshops. No. Where do we have uncollected taxes? Yeah, almost nothing. What else? What else? Military wages. Oh. So that's about 1,000 right there. Oops. Ah, man. All right, I think we'll hold off on that. I think we'll be okay. Ironically, sacrifice 2 cities makes big war hard to do because nobody wants to be destroyed to smithereens. Yeah. Vietnam and Korea are both US puppets. Let's not pretend in the end we won. We do have many soldiers there, this is true. Trump has no influence abroad. He's a laughable figure. What he portrays as success is just spineless politicians capitulating without the approval of state governments. Look at von der Leyen. I mean, yeah, he doesn't have any support overseas. It is true. Nobody wants to work with him. In a way, Robert Oppenheimer created the ultimate weapon of yeah, bad wad badoom. He has been internationally humiliated. The United Nations are laughing at him. Xi Jinping ridiculed him. Putin ridiculed him. He has lost Canada, Europe, Australia, Mexico. He has destroyed 100+ years of carefully designed American foreign policy since Woodrow Wilson. Yep. Yep. Yes, but he is still relevant because he's president of the greatest power in the world. Everything he does has repercussions. His relevance is not in being good. We have the Air Guard and National Guard. Oh, that's true. Yeah, yeah, in reference to the Texas military, right? Yeah, that's true. So there's the National Guards and the Air Guards, yeah. This is true. Uh, fun facts. Fun fact, Woodrow Wilson are very free with his wife. I don't think either you or Joe actually realize how well-armed Greece is. We are like North Korea of Europe. This arrogance can be seen by the attitude you showed over the whole of EU. I mean, it's not arrogance. I'm not saying, I'm not putting a value on a country based on its military strength. But, I mean, it is true that the 2 largest military powers in the world are the US and Russia still. Despite Russia's problems, there's still a massive military, and I don't think that I don't think it's putting a feather in the US's cap to say we're probably the strongest military in the world. I mean, I get like Greece is well armed, but I think if the US actually went to war with somebody, it wouldn't be it would be a US win, except for the fact that, so I don't think that like if the US hypothetically went to war with the whole of Europe, I think that would be a massively I think that would be a war like on the scale of going to war with Russia. If there was a situation where all of Europe was united together in that. And I think if in this hypothetical situation, we're talking about like comparing the American and Greek militaries, I can't see a situation where there would actually be a war like that and the rest of Europe wouldn't come to the aid of the European country. So I think there wouldn't be a war between the US and Greece. There would end up being a war between the US and the entirety of Europe. And that's a war. I wouldn't say it's a loss for the US. I think that is a mutual destruction war where nobody wins. So that's kind of my feeling on that. It doesn't really change the importance. What he's commanding as a military is far beyond any of his antics. Yeah, Trump himself is not influential. It's just whoever holds that office is influential. Not the man that says solidarity for everyone, but actually only traditional men. Return to the trade unions. Oh, wait, whoops. I was mixing up two things there. Not the man that says solidarity for everybody, but actually only traditional men. I wanted Trump to annex Canada, then the infamy would reach 100%, and coalitions would arrive, forcing him to declare bankruptcy and lose 50% of his prestige. Yeah, exactly. You are crediting the U.S. hard power as Trump's personal influence? Well, in such case, Kim Jong-un is a world-class leader. Yeah, no, I don't think... For me, we're not talking about the actual value of the person as a leader. We're talking about the influence they hold, which is always tied to the office they hold. If you're talking about the person themselves, then sure. But while he holds that office, he has a lot of influence. Do that one. Legislature failures. Excellent. Wonderfully excellent. Speaking of Vietnam, I always laugh with the Family Guy, with Vietnam guy mocked a vet memorial and saying scoreboard. I know it's bad, but the way he said it's very funny. Oh, again, yeah, I'm not up to date on Family Guy. Scoreboard, scoreboard. And what happened to your men? Oh, I know that guy, he cried. Vietnam undefeated. While meeting to discuss ideas, Milojoko Sijan and Nebojsa Hranislav enjoyed a civil and enlightening conversation. Most expected a brawl. But joke aside, military-wise, the U.S. won the battle but lost the war diplomatically. That's very true. Diplomatically, it was a big loss for us. No, it's not. It's comedy, and that happened like 40 plus years ago. What's bad is 5 million Vietnamese civilians unalived and thousands more born with infections from McNamara's Agent Orange. Yeah. 50, my bad. Hey, Lauren. Hello. How are you? Sorry, Lauren, I'm behind on chat here, so I feel like you probably said hello like 20 minutes ago. I'm slowly catching up. I'm doing well. How are you? Good to see you. Post-World War II, America has been a corporate power grab. Same with the EU, the lender in the master, not the borrower. Yeah. Guess what Joe said, that the National Guard of Texas could beat Europe. When you combine all EU states together, we are by far the stronger after the US on paper. I don't know if I would say the EU combined would be by far the strongest. I think that would be kind of a what do you call it? Like a deadlock. The other problem too is if there was like in this hypothetical situation, wait, hold on. Pointing to the rampant turmoil of radical activists in eastern Serbia, the Conservative Party has campaigned on the platform of more policing. If in this hypothetical situation, the all of the EU went to war with the US, I also think Russia would jump in on that in a moment on the side of the EU. So this would now be a war between all of Europe, Russia, against the United States in this hypothetical. So, yeah, I think there's many situations at play there. There we go. Excellent stuff. This is exactly what we needed right there. Criminal organizations have begun operating in eastern Serbia. I don't want to... we need the money. Representing his constituents in the petite bourgeoisie, Peko Sokolovic has issued a formal petition to the Serb government to pass guild systems. We haven't dove into this yet. I don't want the guild system. Oh man, please no more war. I didn't even get my goal to attend EVO Vegas. Now, if you count that there is an ocean between us, and we have 5 aircraft carriers, tier 10, split them between Pacific and Atlantic due to China, we are even. You can't invade us. Yeah. I think let's take this to Hearts of Iron 4. Europe versus the US. We win after we reinstall new democracies. If we left Europe, we would ally with China and Russia. Hey, Jabba. Hello, hello. How's everyone doing? Pretty good, pretty good. We're role-playing fantasy wars in the world. You enjoying the DLC? I am. I am loving the DLC, though the DLC is kicking my butt a little bit, I have to say. We won independence from the Ottomans, and it devastated our economy in a way I've never had an economy devastated before. And we are still trying to catch up. We're currently we had to take a bankruptcy because of it. I thought we survived, and instead we just embraced the bankruptcy. So, but we've recovered from it. We're back. We'll get over it. But yeah, this DLC makes everything a little bit tougher. All right, guys. I think we've reached our point. Stopping point for the night. Here's a story about a little guy that lives in a blue world, and all day and all night, and everyone he sees is just blue inside and out. Also, the Vietnam banter was a family sketch. We didn't mean no disrespect. You got baited somehow. It is really funny. You should check it out. It's like World Cup of fighting game. Oh, Eevee. Oh, Evo. Oh, wait. I know that. I know of that game. I've never played that game before, but yeah. And I'm caught up. There was such a lively chat tonight. I spent most of it trying to catch up on chat while playing the game. And I finally caught up right at the end. Yeah, so we did some work tonight. We're independent. We've reached the sea. We're slowly recovering. Oh, it's an event, not a game. Oh, okay. Yeah, because there's a game called Evo Online. I thought maybe you were talking about that. Okay, never mind. Then I don't know what it is. The World Cup of Fighting. Makes sense it would be in Vegas then. So yeah. So I think next episode we have to write the ship, and then we really want to get the Balkan League going. And so we got to get our cultural fervor up to 75. We're at 51, but I am finding it is a little tough to get cultural fervor up in this game. At least for right now. But we get the Balkan League going, and then we stick it to the Ottoman Empire again. But that'll be it for tonight. So I will be back on tomorrow night. But tomorrow night we're going to be doing some more of the Anno 1800 series. So there'll be more Victoria 3 on Tuesday. But tomorrow we got some Anno 1800. But yeah, thanks for hanging out tonight, everybody. Sorry to everybody who just came in right at the end there. But kind of at the stopping point for tonight. But yeah, this was an awesome chat tonight. I love it. Thank you, everybody. Joe, again, thank you again for that super chat. That was unbelievable. To free speech, my friend. But yeah, Mauricio, bye. Thank you for hanging out, everybody. And as always, be awesome. Jabba, yeah. Have a good one. I'll see everybody next time.